All right, so we are live. We have Halloween Horror Nights tonight. We are going to pregame a little bit, talk about the event, what we're excited for. Um, yeah, we're going to jump into it. We're going to get into just kind of the hype list, the houses. We've got a lot of things that have been released through Premium Scream Night. We've had the team member preview, and we're headed out to Universal Studios here in a little while. We have reservations at Cowfish coming up pretty soon. So I thought, you know, let's just jump in, go live, record a podcast before we go out there and release this on Friday. So if you're listening to this and you're watching this, this is Friday, August 30th. It is the opening night of Halloween Horror Nights here in Orlando at Universal Studios. And I cannot wait to be out there tonight. It is one of the biggest events, if not the biggest event in Orlando. I think it's probably one of the more premier events in Orlando as well. Universal Studios has always done a very good job with this event, and it is one I look forward to each and every year. I cannot wait to go out there and see the houses, the scare zones. You know, all this work is done prior to Halloween Horror Nights. The creative team, Universal Studios, goes out there and really does a nice job of teasing the different things that we're going to be getting here at Halloween Horror Nights. And again, I just look forward to this night every night, seeing everybody out there enjoying their time, going through the houses. They sound really good this year. There's 6 original houses this year compared to the usual 5 that we have. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Again, we've seen a lot of those sneak peeks because of Premium Scream Night and team member previews. And I mean, the list goes on and on of things that people said are unique about this year, a different kind of experience. They said that there might be the scariest house that there's ever been at Halloween Horror Nights, with Insidious Into the Further. So I'm ready to kind of just jump in and talk about what we're doing and what we did all night to kind of prepare and do this morning to prepare for this event, what we'll do leading up to the event, and getting out there tonight to see Halloween Horror Nights in action. Again, happy opening night to everybody that is watching or listening to this. Again, I'll release this as a podcast of just kind of things that we do to kind of prepare for tonight. And I'm live on TikTok as well, live on YouTube and on Facebook. We met behind the castle, but we will be out there tonight. We're going to be doing some Stay and Scream. So if you don't know what Stay and Scream is, they will close the park around 5 o'clock. They'll try to clear the park of all day guests to get the event ready. They'll pull things out into the scare zone. They've got floats. They'll take off some of the tarps for some of the scare zones because they do keep some of those covered because they don't want day guests to be squeamish or the kids to see some of the stuff that goes on for Halloween Horror Nights. And they also just want to keep it covered and kind of a secret. There were some props that popped up last night and into this morning. We got some Major Sweets props heading over into the Candy Factory over in San Francisco. So if you haven't seen that, that has popped up overnight, and we are gearing up and ready to go. I'm so excited. I just keep smiling to myself. I have work off today. I took the day off. That is one thing that you can do, I guess, if you're a local, take the day off. I know that some people are probably working as they're listening to this or watching this. And that's got to be very hard because yesterday I was working and all I was thinking about was how much I wanted to be at Halloween Horror Nights. Because again, this is like our Super Bowl for the theme parks people. I think that we really look forward to this night. We count it down. We do the hype list. We follow all the rumors, the leaks. We follow Universal. We hashtag things. We look at Twitter and X. I mean, I'm always on X looking at different updates. I love Matt, Speculation Matt over on X. He does a really nice job, and they go to the parks and they update us every morning on the props. And as you get closer and closer to August, it's really exciting because we have all these updates. There's a lot of things happening. Merchandise is dropping. We've got different announcements of different IPs. Everybody's getting excited, right? I think everybody here on TikTok is really excited for tonight. If you're going tonight, leave in the comments. Hello, everybody that's joining. It's going to be a lot of fun getting into the fog. I guess we can all say we probably just smell the fog right now as we're sitting here, whether you're sitting at home waiting for it to happen, whether you're at Universal Studios waiting for it to happen, waiting to get into the parks. If you're at the parks ready for it and doing some Stay and Scream, that's what we'll be doing tonight. I think I've gone back and forth over the last couple of hours of which house I want to stay in for Stay and Scream and which zone I want to stay in. I think we plan on being towards the back, towards Men in Black, because there are more houses back there. I know Insidious and Ghostbusters, I think, open up a little bit or are planned to have opened up a little bit earlier. I have heard that the Insidious house is the scariest house probably in the history of Halloween Horror Nights. I don't even know what that means. I get pretty scared in the house. So I'm pretty interested to see what that all looks like, because I think, as we started to count down this year, and I think Matt's on this live who I'm going with, we've kind of counted down, did our hype list. I'll actually pull up my hype list as well, as I'm sharing it on YouTube. But I mean, just kind of going through and looking at the hype list. I don't know, because last year, I mean, I guess every year I do this because it's more of recency bias, where it's like, I'm excited this year more than ever. I'm excited this year more than, and it really is. I feel like this year, because we've got the 6 original houses. And honestly, I always think of Universal Monsters kind of as, I mean, that's their property. That's their go-to. And I always feel like that house is always going to be good. So I always chalk that up as a good one. And then I always enjoy the original houses. There have been a couple of houses that I haven't really enjoyed as much. I mean, they've been fun. But sorry, I'm going to put you guys on the stand here. But yeah, no, I think there's some houses that I've not enjoyed as much. But for the most part, original houses always tend to be my favorite. When I go and do the rankings after a Halloween Horror Nights event ends, I always tend to be leaning more towards just HHN original houses rather than the IPs. Like, I was a big Stranger Things fan. I'm a huge Last of Us fan. But honestly, I enjoyed Yeti more last year. I think that it provided a more, a scarier instance and scarier experience going through that house. I love Blood Moon. I mean, there's just so many houses. Dead Man's Wake. There's so many houses that I've enjoyed in the past that I think, going into this year, when you look at the list and you hear all these things that people have been doing, and Slaughter Cinema is getting its sequel. Just listening to all these things that are happening at this year's event makes it more exciting for me, I think, to go this year. And I don't know if everybody else is feeling the same. You can leave in the comments, like, what's your hype list? What are you looking forward to most? But again, my hype list, we can go 10 to 1. At number 10, Triplets of Terror. And this was a couple weeks ago when I made this hype list, so we'll kind of compare what I'm thinking now. Number 9, I had Insidious a couple of weeks ago. Goblin's Feast at number 8, Quiet Place at number 7, Ghostbusters at number 6. I had Major Sweets at number 5, Monstrous at number 4, Museum at number 3, and Eternal Bloodlines at number 2, and then at number 1 I had Slaughter Cinema. But looking back to kind of what I was thinking as far as how that's all changed, I think as time has gone on and listening to the different things that have been released from team member previews and from team member reviews and the premium Scream Night, I would probably have Insidious number 1 now. I've not even seen the movies. I had to watch a recap because I was like, I'm not going to be able to get all 5 of the movies in by the time Halloween Horror Nights rolls around. So I watched recap, and honestly, I think Insidious is probably number 1 on my hype list now. Probably Eternal Bloodlines number 2. Number 3, I'd probably put Quiet Place. Number 4, I'm going to go Goblin's Feast. Number 5, Major Sweets. Number 6, Monstrous. Number 7, Ghostbusters. Number 8, Triplets of Terror. Number 9, I don't know, Museum. And then 10, I guess did I leave out? Yeah, I left out Slaughter. So move all those down. I put Slaughter around 3 or 4. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like houses that I'm not as, like, honestly, the more I've heard about Triplets, the less excited I am for Triplets. The more that I've seen. But I think because, and Matt and I always talk about this, and, anybody I go to HHN with, Ashley, like, I think, you go into these houses and it's hard to kind of move houses up and down a hype list or ranking list, because I really do. I thoroughly enjoy a lot of these things and a lot of these houses. The sets are usually beautiful. From everything I've heard about the sets this year, they're some of the best sets that they've had in a long time as far as scale and how big they are. I've heard Quiet Place is a unique experience unlike no other, which is good. I like that I know these things, but they've not yet been spoiled for me. Obviously, I've had a couple spoilers, but for the most part, I mean, I'm going into tonight pretty blind to a lot of things. And just the fact that like there is such an excitement around some of these houses, and I know a lot of people are going to say, well, team members are going to hype it up, and people that are paying for premium scream are people that go frequently. But I mean, if they're the people that are paying that much money to go and experience this event, and they're having a good time, and that like these houses are up to par, or way up above par, I'm excited. And again, I think Insidious. I can't wait. I think there's going to be a longer line now because there has been that, right? That current or concurrent thing where I guess you have this idea where Insidious is going to be good, and then with team members talking about it, and then Premium Scream talking about it, like it's all these things start to gain momentum, and I think the lines will be a little bit longer for some of these houses, but I can't wait. Kind of preparing for tonight. I mean, looks like it's going to rain at 6, which is not shocking. Everybody knows it opens up Halloween Horror Nights, and then it rains. It opens up the sky as well. So I'm expecting some rain, right? It would not be opening night without a little bit of rain, and to kind of try to damper any kind of excitement. But I really don't think it will. As far as like damper the excitement, it'll probably rain because it rains every year when Horror Nights comes around. But I mean, just preparing for it, trying to eat earlier, some sushi over at Cowfish. We're going to go to Cowfish and enjoy some food there, and then we're going to head into Stay and Scream. I actually moved the reservation we had at 1. It's at 1:30 because we'll head up there to Universal and try not to deal with. I know traffic's usually crazy trying to get into the entrance of Universal Studios, and I know people that are trying to get over there after work. Today, I think that's going to be tough. Obviously, it's always tough to get into Universal Studios at that time of day, and the traffic on I-4 on a Friday at 3:00 is never fun. So, but yeah, I took the day off. Ashley has the day off. We're going to head into Universal Studios a little early, so that way we can, if we have to sit in traffic, we can get there in plenty of time and then get into Stay and Scream. Because honestly, if you've never done Stay and Scream, it's probably the best thing ever created for any event like this. I would say Mickey's Not So Scary is pretty similar, because when you get in earlier than 4:00, when a lot of the Halloween party guests can get in, you can start to kind of get into an area where you know where the lines are. I would equate that to this, where at Halloween Horror Nights, you're getting in line waiting for the houses, and then we always found that it's best to do the houses back towards the back for Stay and Scream, the ones that open pretty close to one another, like as far as timing, because if you're in that back area, you don't have to, obviously you can't cross across the parks because they're pulling out props and they're putting scare actors into place and all sorts of things, getting day guests out and clearing the area. But I think doing the back, I think there's 4 of them back there now, because the 2 new tents are back there, and then the other 2 tents, which that's another thing that we can kind of talk about. I'm so excited that there are more tents now than there are buildings, because tent houses always freak me out more because you're in close quarters. And yeah, I mean, again, this year, I don't think I've ever been more excited, and maybe I am more excited than the last couple of years. But I think it's because of the original houses. I've heard great things about these original houses on X, people that have shared their thoughts and opinions. But again, I think it's going to be an event that we've not ever really experienced yet, and I'm hoping it's the best year ever. I think that's everybody's wish, is that it's the best year ever. But those on TikTok, you can drop in the comments below, and welcome in. I'm hoping you're having a great day leading up to Halloween Horror Nights, and just the excitement for the event that's happening tonight. You can feel it on socials. You can feel it through TikTok. The people that are just following the updates. It's always an electric night. If you've never been to opening night of Halloween Horror Nights and you're going for the first time, what can you expect? Very crowded. It is Labor Day weekend as well, so the kids will be off school on Monday, so they'll be there all weekend. Everybody on their frequent fear passes have the opportunity to do Stay and Scream, but also go on Saturday night. It's one of the only weekends that Frequent Fear Plus and below are allowed to go on Saturday night. Usually you're not allowed to on these passes. Thanks for the dinosaurs, Ashley. That's so nice. My wife's giving me the little dinosaurs. I love the tiny dinies. They're so cute. What? Oh, she's in the other room. I'm in like the makeshift. She was in the office today, so I was in I'm in the makeshift office. So, but yeah, no, I get so excited for this event. Ashley, I think, gets more excited for this event for just the way I react in houses. She likes to scare me as it is, but she doesn't really get too scared in the houses. And Matt too. I loved going with Matt when I first started because Matt would kind of help me out because he knows the lay of the land. He knows who is where usually because he can tell by just different scares where the next one's going to be. Oh yeah, join my team. There we go. But Rachel, Matt's wife, we go with her too, and she's a little quicker. She usually gets in the front of the line, and she's trying to get through the house as quick as possible. And then Andrew and Darren are coming down, Darren's wife, and that'll be fun because the more people you can go with, if you've got friends that you can go with, it's so much fun because people have different interactions and reactions to what happens at Halloween Horror Nights. I know, like myself, I'm scared, and I usually carry my water bottle in my camera bag, and I grip it and I hold it really tight because I don't want to. Because my natural instinct is not really to punch, but to flail, like to throw my arms out. I'm not sure that the scare actors would appreciate that. So I always try to keep my hands close to chest. But I know a lot of people, there's been people that said they've fallen down already at Premium Scream and team member previews for some of the houses. So I think that's that's already terrifying enough for me. But yeah, I cannot wait. Just kind of preparing yourself for it. I mean, I know some people say that they bring a backpack. A lot of people are drinking water. I'm trying to drink water now. But staying hydrated. It's really hot out still here in Florida. Trying to catch a break whenever you can, catching some shade whenever you can, just to try to ease the amount of time that you're on your feet and just kind of the conditions. They can be brutal at Horror Nights. And there's a lot of alcoholic drinks. There's a lot of food, a lot of salt, a lot of sugar. And anytime you're doing that, obviously, it's not great for your body to be out in the heat like that. But as the night goes on, it's cooling down now, where like a week or so ago, you're still getting 90-degree weather and it feels like 100 even with the sun's down. But I have noticed it's starting to dive a little bit as far as humidity, and some of the temperatures at night are not as bad. It's a little bit more breezy too. Because once we get to about the end of September, it's really nice. Usually after Matt's birthday, like it's a good judge of how I always figure because Matt's birthday is kind of middle of the month. But so what are we excited about? There's some people on TikTok. There's people watching on YouTube. But if you're excited about anything, just kind of drop in the comments. But again, I think just the original houses, the food this year, I'm going to pull up the menu, kind of go through one. And I think this is on everybody's list. And Ashley and I were joking about this last night. We're like, I think the longest line is going to be probably for the Marshmallow Man s'mores over at the Ghostbuster stand. So that'll be interesting in like that Central Park area over by like across from Mummy. That stand always gets crowded too. And that's one of the bigger, that's where one of the bigger Stay and Screams was. And when they do Stay and Scream there, you can oftentimes buy food and then get in line, and that's what a lot of people do. But I don't think we're going to be in that Stay and Scream zone this year. So I think we're gonna try probably to do the back area. I've been thinking that maybe Slaughter Cinema, but I've also gone back and forth. Do we try to get in line for Insidious first? But I kind of want to leave Insidious for later because it's supposed to be one of the best. So. Yeah, going through the food items, I know a lot of people were like, ew, a stew in the middle of 90-degree weather. I mean, at this point, I'm so used to it being hot here, like eating food that's warm doesn't really affect me too much. Like, unless I'm not going to drink a ton of soup. Like, I'm not going to eat soup, obviously, but like a stew doesn't really bother me. I think the corn chowder, like that creamy stew, sounds really good. That's the Last of Us stand over in, what's it called? Sting Alley. So you got Abbott's Farm corn chowder. It's got shrimp in it. So Ashley will love that, I think. They have baked beans with mashed potatoes. That one's kind of weird for me. Like, it's just like a bunch of sides. Like, they've got a whole meal of sides. It's mashed potatoes, cheddar cheese, and a cornbread coffin. Like, it just screams sides. Looking forward to that. I'm not sure I'm going to go to the Frozen Empire booth. So like next to it is Ivan's, which is the other food booth for Ghostbusters. But the Frozen Empire one, I didn't like the Korean dog last year. The Frozen Death Chill is a Korean corn dog dipped in mint cheesecake. I don't like mint. So this one might just be a complete Frozen Empire. Also, like I guess they're going to be connected, obviously, because they've got two registers. I don't know if it really matters which register you order at for each of them, but they have two different stands. That is the one that has the little mini Stay Puffed s'more, which is a mini marshmallow man, and he's adorable, and it looks so good, like the way that they've toasted the marshmallow. So that is number one on my hype list, maybe above the houses as well. But Insidious, they've got a good looking one as well. They've got the red door, which is potato and onion filled hand pie. I love potatoes. I love hand pies. I think that looks really good. And Universal's done a lot better than in the past with food items. And I think a lot of that is centered around the idea that SeaWorld's got one of their best food booths or foods festivals going on right now. I think it's the Brew and is it Brew and Beer? What's it called? I don't remember, Matt. You're gonna have to help me. I forget what it's called. It's a craft beer festival over at SeaWorld. Food and Wine just started last night, and so this puts Halloween Horror Nights and Universal into this this time period where two of the theme parks around them have some of the best food that they'll have throughout the year. So I think Universal Studios is like, we've got an event. Let's make it an experience, not just the houses and scare zones. Let's make it, to where we can go enjoy food, drinks, whatever it might be. And I think that's a huge thing for Universal, is leaning into the food. What can they theme some of this food after for some of these properties that are coming into the event, but also their original houses? And speaking of, the next ones are original houses and original food items to those houses that are themed after the houses, which is really cool. So if you've never been to Halloween Horror Nights and you want the experience of eating food that is themed after some of these houses, this is where you can go. So we've got Universal Monsters, Eternal Bloodlines. They've got a fish and chips. I know Matt's wife, Rachel, wants to try some fish and chips. They've got a falafel over there, a bride's cake, which is a chocolate coated 3-tier vanilla cake with raspberry jam. I think it's the one with a knife in it, which that would be cool. We've got the one booth that I was really excited for because of the way it looks. So this one's the Cary, Ohio. It's the Slaughter Cinema. It's like a drive-in theaters concession stand. And they have the walking tacos over there this year, which are some of our favorite. Ashley and I love the walking taco. Even the vegan one's fantastic. Like it tastes just like a walking taco, like the meat, the sour cream, the cheddar cheese. It all tastes just like you would get with the normal walking taco. I wouldn't say normal walking taco, the other walking taco. But those are going to be there. They're going to have a summer camp dog, which is a deep fried Nathan's hot dog topped with Tostitos, nacho cheese, and baked beans. That I actually thought that looked really good. I thought that Slaughter Cinema's food looked like some of the best. And then they also have what's called Rocked from Hell, which is crispy jalapeno cheddar cheese stuffed lumps of coal. I'm not the biggest fan of spice, but I do like creamy jalapeno every once in a while. They have cinema popcorn, which is flaming hot Cheetos flavored popcorn, which I love flavored popcorn. I worry about this one, although I will say they did have popcorn machines back there where they're making fresh popcorn. I think you're going to get fresh popcorn. I just worry because popcorn does tend to stale really quickly here because it is so humid and it sits out. Like they had the little racks back there with bags ready to go that they'll kind of hang those on. But another thing that sounded really good was a Shirley Black, because I don't mind vodka. I think vodka and gin are probably the ones I would enjoy. I don't really tend to like the darker liquor, but it's got vodka raspberry, Rothman and Winter orchard cherry liqueur, tart cherry syrup, lemon juice, and blueberry popping boba and Sprite. That sounds really good. I think I might try that tonight. But again, the tough part about the first night is like you get so focused on doing as many houses as possible because you get kind of the FOMO of like some people are doing express, media is doing their thing, and they're doing all the houses. People that are getting express are getting a lot of the houses done. But Stay and Scream, it is so underrated as far as and really not known very well, because the people that come and are not annual pass holders obviously can't get Stay and Scream. But I feel like it's one that's kind of like people will get to Stay and Scream and they're like, oh wow, like this is game changing, because we didn't try Stay and Scream till last year. And it was great. Like getting there and being in the park and being able to just kind of hang out, relax, go to the bathroom, grab some food, sit in line, and then get into the houses before the event even starts, makes it well worth the price of our annual pass. And you have to have an annual pass to do Stay and Scream, or you can buy the Stay and Scream ticket. I forget exactly what the ticket is called, but there is an option where you can buy that extension. But you have to get to the park before it closes. I think it's 5 o'clock is when they start to close the gates. Last year, we actually did get there because Friday I work until about 3. We got there, I think, like at 4:50 one time, and they had closed it. So it's not always at 5 o'clock on the dot. So make sure you get there. I would honestly, I'd shoot for 4 o'clock if you can get there before 4. I know a lot of people work until 4, 5, 6 o'clock, so it's very difficult to get to Universal during that time. So you kind of have to wait, because I will say it's the one thing that is very difficult is getting actually to the event. So parking garage can get very, very crowded. The parking plaza, the toll plaza, gets very crowded as well. Takes a lot of time to get those cars through there. Getting into the park, I mean, there's a massive crowd waiting to get through the turnstiles. Like if you've ever been to Universal Studios Florida, it goes from the turnstiles. There's been times where it goes all the way back, and I'm talking like mass group of people all the way back to NBC, the grill. So it can be extremely crowded. If you go on X tonight and you just type in HHN33, people will tweet pictures of the parking plaza, because you stand above it when you're getting into the park, or from the parking garage into security. And those cars usually back up all the way back towards like the beginning of the entrance to Universal Studios off of I-4 sometimes. It's insane. So that's why I did some reservations early, and then we'll kind of camp out in some of the theaters, might go to Coconut Club and do that, Dead Coconut, and see the theming in there, because I don't think we've ever done that. Like, I don't think I've ever done that, but might do some Bourne Spectacular if we're in Universal Studios in enough time. Maybe do some horror and makeup. I love the horror and makeup show, because they do have, if you've never been in the horror and makeup show during Halloween Horror Nights, they usually do have information and a lot of factoids and fun facts and things on display for the monsters featured at Universal Monsters, which is Eternal Bloodlines this year. Back to the food items. I mean, they have a tostada that looks really good, a red beet tostada for the Monstrous House. They've got a pork, how do you say that? Carne Sierra. They have a chocolate Tres Leches. I don't know if I've ever had chocolate Tres Leches. Major Sweets, Candy Factory. They have a fun poison apple mousse. It's a caramel mousse with an apple filling and streusel cake. It looks awesome. If you've not seen it, definitely look it up. African lentil and potato sambas coffin. That one is a item on a menu that a lot of people love. It is a really good food item. We tried it last year, and they move it around a lot. It goes to different booths, and people are like, what does that have anything to do with Major Sweets? But and then from everything I've understood about his house, it's supposed to be one of the best houses too. And that house has never done well. Hey, Drew, how's it going? It's good to see you. Thank you. Yeah, I hope everything's well with you. You're in college now. Jeez, I feel old. I taught Drew when I was a high school teacher. But yeah, it's good to see you. Yeah, so I think looking at Major Sweets, I underestimated it because it was in where Chucky was in the Fast and Furious house. But now it's got a different layout, and they actually temporarily closed Fast and Furious. And I wonder if that's why, because it does look a whole lot different than what it used to, the way that it's set up. So I'm interested. I can't wait to see what that's like. And I can't wait to see the new tents, because I wonder if if they're different, or if there's anything that we kind of notice while we're in there that's different about the new tents. But yeah, Goblin's Feast. They have a turkey wing. They have pumpkin guts, which is a butternut squash and zucchini noodles with pumpkin seeds, vegan butter inside an acorn squash. It's cool looking. It looks like a pumpkin that's been smashed and the guts are all hanging out because of the zucchini. Triplets of Terror. Say cheeseburger. They have a cheeseburger there. A bloody goodie bag, which is crispy chicken chunks with fries, pepper, onion mix, and a bloody good sauce. I think this is the one that Matt and Rachel were really excited about. I might try this one too if we go there tonight. But like I said, I think the good thing about tonight is because we're doing Stay and Scream, because we're planning on being there this weekend, at least Friday, Saturday for us, maybe Sunday as well. Doing Stay and Scream and then going to the houses, I'm not worried about getting them all done tonight. I used to be, but again, filming and doing a vlog there, you can't film inside the houses anyway. So you're just filming reactions and scare zones and food. So only media that's been credentialed to go is allowed to do that. They do have the pizza fries. The pizza fries are back. People were very concerned when it changed over to more of an ET themed cafe that the pizza fries might be gone, but they're back. They're classic for their staple. I wouldn't say classic because they're actually not that old. They've not been around at most of the events, so they're a relatively new menu item. But yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight. I get so excited about this event because it brings everybody together. It's a great community of people that get very excited about these houses and these scare zones. We've had people that have been going since the very beginning. You have people that are brand new to the event. I guess some kind of tips that I would have if somebody would say, Logan, what are some tips that you might have if you're going for the first time or, I haven't been in a long time, what would you suggest? I would say definitely Stay and Scream if you can. I would say get there very early on opening weekend because it gets very crowded. Or if you want, you could wait till it was a little later. I know some people, obviously, you're not going to deal with a whole lot of lines or any issues in the parking garage if you get there around 7 or 8 o'clock after the event starts. The peak times for the houses are around 9 to 11 o'clock. Anything before and after, not so crowded. Also, if you do Stay and Scream, the houses are even scarier because your eyes don't adjust from going into from the sun into, especially since there's not really any parade buildings anymore that are shaded. It is terrifying because your eyes don't get adjusted and it is extremely dark in those houses. Ashley and I got lost. Ashley actually, not punched a wall, but she had her hands out like this and she hit a wall last year in Darkest Steel, which was wild. She had a cut on her hand. We got turned around there. She's going to come explain.
I ran into the wall. I didn't punch it. I ran into it.
It was bad.
And it was stupid. And I was bleeding. And I gave it my blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah. And Ashley and I were then right after that, we got turned around and we started going down a hallway where team members were like, no.
You had to pull. You grabbed me.
Yeah, I grabbed Ashley because I could see better. And I was like, all right, here, we're just going to go.
You grabbed me after I ran into the wall.
And we were the only ones there. We were the only ones in the house because Darkest Steel, this was later in the event. So Darkest Steel didn't have, we were the only ones in the house. And there was team members no. I think one of the scare actors was the one that was like, no, go that way.
I didn't see anybody. I didn't even see anyone scaring us.
Yeah.
I just saw nothing.
Yeah.
Who are your other two followers? Because I'm the other one.
Oh, look at me. Here we go. I don't know. It's weird too, because sometimes it'll say people are watching and then it doesn't move the thing. So, but yeah, it's I usually can see it after. But
oh my god,
what?
It was just my
so
second half of my body down there.
But yeah, we're looking forward to the event. I can't wait to be out there. It's gonna rain, so prepare for rain. It's August and September here in Orlando, and so it's going to rain. It's just a matter of when, and the joke is it always rains on opening night. So, but yeah, I guess we'll see you guys out there. It's kind of a shorter live, but I just wanted to get on and kind of just go through some things that, again, kind of tips to help you prepare for it. eat, stay hydrated, have fun. If you don't like getting scared, stay away from the scare zones. Don't go in the houses, obviously. I think one of the best things I can say is if you really don't like to be scared, the scare actors will not come up on the sidewalk. So if you want to avoid that, you can get up on the sidewalk and avoid those scares. But yeah, it's been fun counting this down, and now we're finally here, and maybe one night we'll go out there and go live. Obviously we can't film inside the houses, but we can kind of record a vlog out there as well, do all the scare zones, eat as much of the food as possible. But yeah, this was a shorter podcast or a shorter live, and just wanted to kind of see what we're all feeling, but really excited about it, ready to go out there and see what Horror Nights is all about. And HHN 33, it's upon us. We'll see you in a couple hours. If you see us, say hi. Always like to talk to people that are enthusiastic about the event or other parks. But if you want to give us a follow, We Met Behind the Castle over on Instagram, X. We're on YouTube. We're on podcast feeds. So anywhere you get your podcasts, if you type in We Met Behind the Castle, that's where you can find us. Obviously, we're on TikTok, where we do a lot of posting now, a lot of short form content. We'll be doing some TikToks from Halloween Horror Nights tonight, updating people on the event, doing some scare zone, maybe some scare zone videos as we walk through them. But yeah, really enjoyed getting on here, going live, talking about the event, getting myself hyped up even more. But now we're going to go get ready and head out to Universal Studios, go grab some food at Cowfish, great restaurant. But we'll see you guys there. We'll see you in the fog. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for listening to the podcast. We'll see you guys in the next live or in the next video or podcast. And we will see you guys in the fog at HHN 33.